Across all 7 continents, birds have evolved and adapted to every climate. From the humid forests of Western New Guinea to the freezing winters of Canada, each bird has developed unique traits and behaviors that separate them from the rest. With over 10,000 different bird species, they interact with one another in fascinating ways. For each interaction, a given species' fitness, the ability to successfully reproduce, either increases, decreases, or is unaffected. Let's explore a few examples of these interactions, first taking us to Southeast Asia for a courtship display.
This vibrant black and blue bird of paradise is hard to miss in the dense rainforests of the Bird's Head region of Indonesian New Guinea. The talented Vogelkop superb bird of paradise can be found performing on a stage on the forest floor to attract a mate. Its wide black feathers fan out, accenting the bright blue feathers on its chest and forehead as it sings and hops around its suitor. Unfortunately, he is not always successful. Other ambitious males try to lock at impressing the picky judges, leading to fierce competition among the talented performers. A neighboring species has a different type of competition. Instead of America's Got Talent, the bowerbirds prefer show and tell. The males painstakingly collect any and all sorts of shiny blue treasures they can find on the forest floor. Unfortunately for this collector, though, a thief has arrived. Rival males disguise themselves as interested females in an attempt to steal his trinkets to add to their own collection in hopes that their cluster of riches is more eye-catching to a mate. And it seems our bowerbird beginning to figure it out. Such is the way of bowerbirds, and soon our victim will be off to plunder nests himself. All is fair in love and war. But where some birds squabble over beauty and blue bottle caps, our next 2 species regularly fight for a more vital resource: trees. A little closer to home, in the backyards of many Canadians, flashes of blue and red can be seen above in the treetops. The passive-aggressive robins and the actively aggressive blue jays share many of the same resources, including a place to build their nest. Both species are at a deficit, as constant fighting lowers their chances of survival. Unfortunately, alternative options are scarce, with a life of pacifism resulting in the loss of important materials essential for their survival. Even baths in a nearby puddle are battlegrounds for the birds. However, not all interactions result in both parties getting hurt. Sometimes only one species gets the short end of the stick.
Heading to the southeastern states, we see cardinals donning their blood-red plumage and snacking on the nearby foliage. Their buffet has everything they could want, including a tasty snack: gourmet flowers. Little does this hungry cardinal know, his high-end diet is making the life of his distant cousin much harder. Where the cardinal has many other palates, hummingbirds depend on the sweet nectar of flowers to feed. Unlike our previous interactions, the cardinal is unaware of the impact he has, while the poor hummingbird's laborious job has become tougher with fewer flowers to visit. Mentalisms between birds are rare and rarely direct, but as is the case with this example, they do occur. Now, a more common interaction takes us to one of the most unique hunting strategies found in nature. Blink and you'll miss it. Out here in the American Midwest, a raptor is on the hunt. But unlike other predators, she never plays fair. With its slick, aerodynamic body, the prairie falcon flies high in the sky and tucks its wings to dive at breakneck speeds of up to 70 kilometers per hour. Flying close to the ground, the prairie falcon closes in on its target, and in the last second, she outstretches her sturdy wings and muscular legs to deliver a paralyzing blow to the unsuspecting mallard. A successful kill. The prairie falcon waits for the mallard to succumb to its fatal injury before feasting on it. In a predation interaction, the prey is always consumed for its nutrients. Now what if a bird species took advantage of another in a more unorthodox way? Laying eggs is a crucial part of a bird's life cycle, but while most make their nests, the cowbird takes advantage of other birds' motherly instincts by tricking them into caring for its offspring. At first glance, this may seem like a wholesome interaction between the two mother birds helping each other in raising their young. However, upon closer inspection, the cowbird is not so innocent. After the cowbird egg has been planted in the host nest, the unsuspecting mother bird is now nurturing a chick that is not her own. Once the cowbird egg hatches, it instinctively sprawls out its legs, kicking out any eggs or other hatchlings. The cowbird chick is noticeably larger than the host bird's chicks, giving it the advantage during feeding time. While the cowbird chick is well fed, the host bird's offspring are malnourished and have a lower chance of survival. Even if the host bird notices that the cowbird offspring is not its own and kicks it out, the mother cowbird swoops in and destroys the host's eggs in cold-hearted revenge. Despite the battle raging over these nests, some species find ways to share an area quite effectively.
Sticking to the Americas, woodpeckers are one of the most recognizable bird species in the backyards of millions. And unlike other stick and straw nesting species, the woodpecker opts to create a safe haven for her young in the heart of a tree, carving out the interior with her jackhammer-like beak, making it almost impossible for predators to access her eggs. And unlike other avian nests, the woodpecker's home remains long after the fledglings have grown up and moved out. That is where the hornbill sees opportunity. This pair of hornbills have found an abandoned woodpecker nest and plan to renovate their new home by narrowing the entrance until only a small peephole is left. Until their chicks are born, the mother bird will sacrifice her freedom by remaining in her wooden fortress, isolated from the rest of the world to ensure the safety of her offspring. Once the hornbill is ready, she hunkers down to lay and care for her eggs while her mate hunts for food. Although the previous tenants, the woodpeckers, are not affected by who uses their old residence, the hornbills gain a massive advantage. The wooden fortress is home to a few different interactions, including a rare example of bird mutualism.
The small black-capped chickadee is often found high up in the treetops in search for food. But in their search for food, they are rarely alone. The woodpecker, an ally in the sky, shares a rather subtle partnership. Through drilling holes in search of food or for home building, woodpeckers provide access for chickadees to reach grubs deep inside the bark of trees, which would typically be out of reach. In return, chickadees take on a canary role for the woodpeckers by standing guard on nearby trees and alerting their mutualist of impending predators such as this deadly goshawk. Together, they both gain a competitive advantage in the dense canopy of trees, a rare occurrence among birds, safety in exchange for food.
From dazzling performances to wicked parasitism to harmonious collaboration, bird species interact in wildly different ways with the other avians in their habitats, the largest quantity of which occur during the turbulent time of year wherein they mate, nest, and raise their young. And of course, the specific examples illustrate these interactions from the complete breadth of intriguing relationships amongst our singing neighbors.